Programang hatid ay sining at kulturang para sa lahat. Magbabalik ang Art2art. Schedule ng mga inaabangang konsyerto. Update sa mga magagandang panoorin sa mga tanghalan at teatro. Narito na ang Art2art Calendar.
Narito ang ating arts calendar. Sa teatro, inihahandog ng Repertory Philippines ang musical na Jekyll and Hyde. Isang adaptation ng 1886 nobela ni Robert Louis Stevenson na nilapatan ng musika ni Frank Wildhorn at may book and lyrics ni Leslie Brickus. Ito ay magbubukas sa March 16, 8 p.m. at mapapanood din sa March 17 at 18, March 23 to 25, March 30 at 31 at sa April 1, April 6 to 8 at April 13 to 15 sa Onstage Theater, Greenbelt 1, Makati City. Kabilang sa gaganap sina Michael Williams at Jet Pangan na magsasalit sa pangunahing papel na Dr. Henry Jekyll at Edward Hyde. At sina Kalila Aguilos, Chris Villonco at Junix Enoxian. Ito ay sa direksyon ni Menchu Lauchenko Yulo. Para sa karagdagang detalye, tumawag sa Ticket World at 891-9999 o sa Repertory Philippines at 571-6926 or 571-4941. Inihahandog naman ng De La Salle University at ng Harlequin Theater Guild ang dulang Si Tonying at ang mahiwagang aklat ng kasaysayan sa March 15 at March 16 alas 6:30 ng gabi at sa March 17 alas 3 ng hapon sa De La Salle University, Taft Avenue, Manila. Si Tonying ay isang batang historian na inatasang mga laga sa kasaysayan. Sa tulong ng isang salamin ng oras, maaari niyang bisitahin ang nakaraan, kasalukuyan at hinaharap upang makita at maitala ang mga kaganapan. Kailangan rin niyang pigilan si Mang Mang na nagnanakaw ng iba't ibang makasaysayang bagay. Para sa karagdagang detalye, tumawag o mag-text kay Mary Dizon at 0917-826-2880. Sa musika, tampok ang batikang soprano na si Rachel Herodias sa 7th concert series ng Philippine Philharmonic Orchestra sa March 16 sa Cultural Center of the Philippines. Kabilang sa programa ang Symphony No. 4, Romantic ni Anton Bruckner at iba pang mga arya at kundiman. Para sa karagdagang impormasyon, tumawag sa CCP Marketing Department at 832-1125, Local 1806 o sa CCP Box Office at 832-3704 o kaya sa Ticket World sa National Bookstore at 891-9999.
Mark your calendar for an unforgettable gathering of 3 Filipina icons together for the first time on one stage in a once-in-a-lifetime concert. Internationally acclaimed artists Lea Salonga, Cecil Licad, and Lisa Macuja in The Legends and the Classics. Be part of an enchanted evening of song, music, and dance at 8 p.m. on March 17 and at 6 p.m. on March 18 at the CCP's Tanghalang Nicanor Abelardo. Also featuring Philharmonica, Ballet Manila, and world-class cellist Wilfredo Pasamba. Musical direction by Gerard Salonga with stage direction by Roxanne Lapus. Lea Salonga, Cecil Licad, and Lisa Macuja. The Legends and the Classics. Presented by Ballet Manila and Manila Broadcasting Company with the support of Lifestyle Network, Sofitel Philippine Plaza, and Ayala Land Premier. Special thanks to McDonald's Philippines. Tickets are available at Ticket World outlets. For details, check out ticketworld.com.ph or call 891-9999.
Usapang sining at kultura para sa lahat. Kasama ang balerina ng bayan, si Lisa Macuja. Art2art.
Kasama pa rin po natin ang iconic Filipino artist na si Miss Lea Salonga. Lea, your work has taken you all over the world and you have met some of the most amazing, talented leaders of this generation. You know, what is the most, or what are some of the most unforgettable events that you've participated in and the people that you've met?
Oh, okay.
We only have 12 minutes, okay?
Okay. I don't know. It's because my career's been pretty long. I can't remember everything, and I blame it all on the epidural when I had when I had my daughter. I'll blame it all on the drugs. So don't do drugs. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
Except when you're giving birth.
Except when you're giving birth, and when you're feeling sick. But I've met some interesting people. I think one of the most awesome for me was Bill Clinton. I sang in Boston. I think it was for a Democratic National. It might have been a fundraiser of some sort, and I braved a lot of jet lag for that. And it's the thing, you see him on TV, and he's very presidential, and it kind of evokes the spirit of John F. Kennedy, and in that he's very charming and very compelling when you see him delivering a speech or on a campaign. When you see him in person, he's like over 6 feet tall, and he's a big man. So immediately you feel so much smaller than you were when you first entered the room. And he had the softest handshake, and just he felt lovely. It's an adjective that I never thought I would ever use to describe him, but he was lovely. And his wife, also lovely. My mom, I think she was, she got weak at the knees when she saw him. She's like, oh my gosh. Now all of these things are saying about him. Now I understand.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's definitely was somebody that was interesting and lovely to meet.
Because that's a person. What about the event?
The event, probably the Oscars would be one event that I can't forget. It's chaotic backstage when they're trying to get everybody together in makeup and costume and hair to head out onto the stage. And I remember being extremely well rehearsed and being so well prepared. I think for something like that, which is live in front of millions and millions of people, they want to make sure that very few hitches take place. So I have to say that it was memorable in the sense that there's nothing shotgun or ambushed about doing an award show like that. That every moment
Which
is
so different from our awards.
I know.
Okay.
I know, exactly. So that's what struck me. It struck me as it's so polished, and even presenters, they will bring out a couple of outfits. If there's a peanut gallery at the rehearsal, Barbara Streisand did this. She asked, which one do you want me to wear? And then I hear a very gay man in the gallery saying, wear the one on the right and use the diamonds. like, this is good. Just like even the presenters rehearsed their speeches. Like nothing was left to chance. And now you'll see backstage pictures of them reviewing cue cards and their scripts. I mean, everything I'm sure is telepromptered, but still they get out there and they know what they're doing. Yeah, and that's something that was like, wow, why can't we do that at home? Because it's not a resource issue. It's not an issue of money at this point. It's an issue of time management and a desire to want to polish and want to do it well.
Attitude, really.
Yeah.
Okay, as an international celebrity, so many people look up to you. Of course, it's a great opportunity for furthering any advocacy or cause. What are your causes?
Well, for me, what's close to me is like I want education for children. So my husband and I started sponsoring kids with World Vision. And when World Vision found this out, then they tapped me to be a child sponsorship ambassador. So that was something that we felt strongly about. I first heard about World Vision through Christian Bautista. He was doing the ads, and then we heard them on the radio, and so we took down the phone number, and then we didn't call initially. And then I was shopping in the mall one day, and I got chased down by one of the World Vision volunteers. And I think that was a nice change, that here's somebody who felt so strongly about this, and we started off with one and now we have two. And for me it's much more important than a lot of other things, is that our kids are educated, because that's something that you cannot take away from that. And I also would love to see more arts in school, but well, Let's feed our people first.
Okay. Well, I'm sure education became a cause also because you are a mother.
Yes.
How has motherhood changed you? Your life, not just as a person, but as an artist.
Well, the emotions you feel. I mean, I think art, it's all fueled by the heart, eh? You know, I mean, without art, there's no heart. So, because art, I think, it's a very emotional response to stimulus from the world. So, once you have a child, it's like your wellspring of emotion just gets deeper. It's like you already have a pretty deep well just from being an artist. And then something so life-changing takes place and everything just gets even deeper without your intending for it to be. It's like your tears are much more shallow and your anger it will bubble far more easily. Because it's all about your kid. You're always thinking about your child. You're always thinking about what would be best for my child, not always thinking about what's best for you. And so so my mom was right when she says once you have a kid, you will understand.
Yeah.
And then, so now that I have one, it's like, oo nga pala, tama pala yung nanay ko.
Tsaka humahaba yung pasyensya mo, di ba?
Sometimes. It depends. Well, as with many things, it depends. My patience with her can be long, but when she starts to test it and when she sees that I'm getting angry, she doesn't like me when I'm angry.
Okay.
She does not enjoy it. And when she sees that, you know, after about 10, 15 minutes, she'll come closer and says, Mom, are you happy now?
And she's only 5.
And she's only 5.
Until she becomes a teenager.
I know.
Okay, how do
joy,
you
oh
unwind
happiness.
after a long day?
How do I unwind? I love playing video games.
Okay.
I like it when I play a role that's kind of angsty, and sometimes I'm not able to just leave it at the theater.
Yeah.
I go home and have to kill something, a zombie, like hit it with a wrench on the head. Something where I have to shoot at a very strange-looking creature, and that usually fixes everything.
Does that help you sleep?
No,
after a
actually,
show?
I get stimulated.
You know,
it kind of winds me up.
The adrenaline, of course, and then if you have a matinee the next day, you just have to get your rest.
Yeah,
So
coffee helps a lot.
Okay. Okay, tell us about your new project, Allegiance. What is it about, and what's the role you're going to be playing?
Okay, Allegiance is a story about a family that is interned during World War II. It was like a lot of Japanese Americans in the West Coast were interned in internment camps. And there was over 100,000 Japanese Americans of American citizenry who were placed behind bars because of Pearl Harbor. Instantly, race becomes an issue.
Yeah.
And then there's racial profiling, and so you even have Chinese going, I'm not Japanese, you know, and trying to people distancing themselves, and people that you once bought your groceries from immediately become the enemy.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting project to take on, and my role is, I actually play the girlfriend of one of the sons in that family, but she's the tutor of the younger son. And she also actually becomes very militant against the internment.
Okay.
And so it's, so my inner Gabriela Silang comes.
So when is it opening?
We're actually going to be in production beginning in August for rehearsals, but we open in September and run until the end of October.
In
San Diego.
In San Diego. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, before we close, of course, we have to do our shameless plugging.
Yes!
Let's invite our viewers and
Please,
listeners to our
please.
concert this weekend.
Please.
Okay,
I
what
know-
are your top 3 reasons why they shouldn't miss the legends and the classics at the CCP Main Theater on March 17 and 18?
My top 3 reasons.
Yes, your top 3
My
reasons.
top 3 reasons. You get to see 3 amazing artists. I'm going to make yabang na. You get to see 3 very different disciplines on one stage, sometimes alone, sometimes in pairs, and sometimes together. And if you go to see just the dancing, then you get to enjoy some classical piano playing and some singing. If you come to watch the singing, then you get the other two also, and so on and so forth. So I think fans of each of ours, or each of our fans, will hopefully have their eyes opened up to other art forms as well. It's at the CCP where I made my stage debut in The King and I at 7, and I actually danced ballet there. I was in the Nutcracker when I was 8 with Ballet Philippines. So that's my performance history as a ballerina. I think it ended at the CCP. No, it did not. It did not. I kept dancing after, but yeah, it was memorable. But it's been the site of so many wonderful performances, and so it's something special for me when I get to perform in that space. It's never just basta. It's always something that I will never ever forget. And 3, you get to hear a magnificent orchestra, and you get to watch one of our best musical directors and conductors in the country. He happens to be my brother. That's it. He just happens to be my brother. And if I'll just go by Cecil. If she didn't think he was brilliant, he wouldn't be doing this.
I'm looking forward to dancing.
Oh, yes.
With him
Just tell him
at
what you
the
want.
baton.
Tell him what
Just
you
hope he's
want.
going to play my fuertes at the right tempo.
Oh,
I'm sure he will.
He will. Just tell him what you want. You want faster, you want slower.
Okay.
Basta, the nice thing about him as a musical director is that it's never about him. I mean, when he's conducting a classical piece, that's one thing. But when he's performing with another artist, say another singer or an instrumentalist, he always has his eye on that person because he has to watch for their interpretation. He has to watch for, if they're having a bad day, he needs to be sensitive to that. So with me, we can keep our backs towards each other, and we can feel how the other person's moving things along.
Okay.
Well,
that's fantastic.
I mean, we
vibes.
came out of the same womb, so I think that has something to do with it. No, but yeah, and he's conducted ballets before. He conducted Romeo and Juliet at, where was it, CCP? Yeah, I think it was CCP. So it's not his first time with a ballet company. So I think
great.
you'll be fine.
Really
you'll be in
looking
very
forward.
good hands.
Yeah.
Very, very good hands.
And before we close, actually, meron akong sasabihin sa'yo na hindi mo alam, and I've always wanted to tell you.
Okay.
In dinner at Malacanang with George Bush, you were singing
Yes.
On My Own. And di ba there's a pause there after that? Na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Yeah.
In that pause, there was a cell phone ringing. That was from our table.
Oh.
Hindi ko nasasabihin sa'yo kung kaninong cellphone.
Okay.
It was a business tycoon, but
Okay.
and he started to answer the phone, and I was like, and my husband and I were like, anyway, that's my little tidbit for you.
I've done parties like that
Yeah.
also, so it comes with the territory. What I've learned in performing in environments like that, either a corporate thing or a birthday party where you're not clearly the center of attention, I try to look for friends in the audience that I can, if I'm, say, center stage, and even though the spot can be blinding, I try to look at, who is here. Oh, such and such is here. This is one of my friends from dance class, or oh, I see this person regularly, and sometimes, if I'm lucky, right dead center, I'll see friends of mine or good friends. So it doesn't matter if it's a 500-seat room, if 496 of them have absolutely no interest in what I'm doing. If I get the 4, my night is set. So that's kind of the attitude that I have.
That's
that
a
I go
great
in.
attitude. Ako naman baliktad. I don't like to see the audience. I mean, I don't like to recognize faces in the audience.
No, it's
It distracts me.
comforting when I see people that I know, who I know their attention will they'll get what I do, and they'll be supportive and non-judgmental, and yeah, it's comforting.
Wow.
It's like having family.
Okay. The guy is going, wind up. Thank you for making our 5th anniversary special very, very special.
Oh, thank you.
Leia.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Okay, mga kaibigan, samahan ninyo kami ulit sa susunod na linggo. 3:30 ng hapon dito lamang sa Art2art. Ito po si Lisa Macuja, nagpupugay sa artistang Pilipino at sa lahat ng Pilipinong nagmamahal sa bayan. Magandang hapon, Pilipinas! Ito po ang inyong balerina ng bayan, Lisa Macuja, na bumabati sa lahat ng nakikinig sa DZRH at sa lahat ng nanonood sa RHTV, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga alagad ng sining at kultura sa buong bansa. This is truly an amazing episode for us here on Art2art because we have so much to celebrate and be grateful for. Una sa lahat, ito po ang aming 5th anniversary episode. Yes, 5 taon na po ang Art2art and we have clocked 264 episodes since we first aired in 2007. Maraming salamat po sa inyong suporta at salamat din sa mahigit na 200 mga alagad ng sining na naging bahagi ng aming programa in the last 5 years. Kung hindi dahil sa inyo, hindi magtatagumpay ang programang ito. Pangalawa, nagpapasalamat din kami sa Gawad Tanglaw Awards dahil for the second time, Best Educational Radio Program muli ang Art2art. So again, maraming salamat po. At syempre pa, ipinagmamalaki naming makasama sa hapong ito ang isang iconic Filipino artist na nagdala ng napakaraming karangalan sa ating bansa. And I am very happy to say na makakasama ko siya sa isang espesyal na palabas sa darating na Sabado at Linggo. Pag-uusapan natin yan mamaya, kasama ang multi-awarded world-class performing artist na si Miss Leia Salonga.
Isinilang noong ika-22 ng Pebrero 1971, si Maria Ligaya Carmen Imutan Salonga ay unang gumanap sa teatro noong siya ay 7 taong gulang pa lamang sa musical na The King and I ng Repertory Philippines. Kasunod nito, naging lead star siya ng Ani at mula noon ay kinilala bilang isang magaling at matagumpay na batang artista. 10 taong gulang siya nang lumabas ang kanyang unang plaka na pinamagatang Small Voice na naging isang gold record. Bukod dito, nagkaroon din siya ng sariling programa sa telebisyon, ang Love Leia. 3 beses siyang itiranghal ng Aliw Awards bilang Best Child Performer. Dumating ang pinakamalaking break ni Leia nang mapili siyang lumabas bilang Kim sa Broadway musical na Miss Saigon noong 1989. Dahil sa kanyang mahusay na pagganap, tinanggap niya ang mga prestihiyosong gantimpala tulad ng Tony Award, Laurence Olivier Award, Drama Desk Award, Outer Critics Award at Theater World Award. Dahilan kung bakit nakilala siya bilang unang artista na nagwagi ng pinakamaraming gantimpala para sa iisang role. At noong 1993, siya rin ang naging unang Asyano na gumanap bilang Eponine sa higanting Broadway musical na Les Miserables. Itinuturing ngayon na isa sa pinakamalaking pangalan sa larangan ng teatro. Ilan sa mga produksyong kinabibilangan ni Leia ay ang Grease, They're Playing Our Song, Into the Woods, Flower Drum Song, My Fair Lady, The Fantastics, Proof, Baby, Cinderella at Cats, Isa rin siya sa mga itinuturing na Disney legends dahil sa kanyang pag-awit bilang Princess Jasmine sa Aladdin at bilang title role sa Mulan. Bukod sa pagtatanghal sa entablado at mga konsyerto, nakapagtala na rin si Lea ng 26 na recordings at 10 pelikula. Bukod pa sa mga video recordings ng ilan sa kanyang mga stage performances. Ilan lamang sa napakaraming karangal ang tinanggap ni Lea Salonga ang The Outstanding Young Man o TOYM Award, ang Presidential Merit Award mula kay Pangulong Cory Aquino noong 1990 at ng Order of La Candula Award mula kay Pangulong Gloria Macapagal Arroyo noong 2007. Ipinagmamalaki ng Art2art na maging panauhin ang world-renowned Philippine artist na si Miss Lea Salonga.
Magandang hapon, Lea, and welcome to Art2art.
Maraming salamat. Magandang hapon din, Lisa, at sa lahat ng mga nakikinig dito sa DZRH.
And thank you for gracing our 5th anniversary episode.
Oh, happy birthday to Art2art.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad to be here.
Okay. Tulad ng nabanggit ko nga kanina, magkakaroon kami ng isang once-in-a-lifetime concert sa darating na Sabado at Linggo, March 17 and 18. Nag-plug na ako. Kung saan magkakasama kami ni Lea Salonga at Cecil Licad for the very first time. Okay, when the idea of this, the Legends and the Classics
Right.
concert was first broached to you, what was your first reaction, initial reaction?
My initial reaction was, ooh, that sounds really interesting. Because I don't think three artists of such disparate disciplines have been brought together in this way. Okay, you have a singer, you have a classical ballet dancer, and a classical pianist. You'd think na, yes, a classical soprano might probably be more bagay to the mix because these are all classical arts and what I do is more contemporary. But then again, my teachers give me classical techniques. So, ganun na lang. Sige, makikisali na rin ako.
No, at saka ang dancing naman can also be contemporary. And you know, Cecil can let her hair down once in a while too.
I want to see that happen.
Yeah.
I've seen her in concert, and my brother Gerard was conducting. He was her musical director. And it was magic watching her. I think it was, I had heard her name through so many years of just performing and being in circles of musicians and hearing of how amazing she is and seeing her on TV. But that does not capture the fire that she is when she's actually a few feet in front of you. You're just, it's like this force that just makes you go boo, and it's amazing. It's amazing to witness. Her fingers are so fast, and the thing is, it's not empty. Everything that she does, it's just so emotional. There's something behind everything that she does. It's like, that's art. It's not just technique. It's not just hours and hours of practice just to get the speed right. You can tell that there's love, that there's pain and joy in what she's doing. It's like, can't they all play like that? Why can't everybody just play like that?
For the record, actually, when I talked to Cecile about the project, talagang sabi niya, she's going to be willing to do the project if Gerard will be musical director.
Right.
Yeah, so
it makes me happy.
that's
I have no complaints in that regard.
Well, actually, one of the things that all three of us have in common in our careers is that we all started young.
Yes.
Okay, you started at the age of 7.
Yes, correct.
In your first musical play, The King and I.
Yes.
Cecile played with the PPO at the age of 7. Ako nga yung late starter. Kasi I started ballet lessons only at the age of 8, which is considered late for ballet dancers today.
Right.
So, I'm sure you've answered this question before. Looking back, did you feel na nag-miss out ka sa childhood mo?
Actually, hindi. I mean, I went to a regular school, so I had recess, I had friends, I had homework. I went to the prom. I was chaperoned, but still, I went to the prom. But the thing is about doing the work, I mean, there are bonuses. There are really such perks. I mean, I got to travel for the first time. I was on the plane for the first time at the age of 10, and I got to perform abroad and get a taste for what an international audience is like. I got to do something that I really enjoyed, much more than being on a playground. I got to do musicals with Repertory Philippines. I got to perform I got to meet other like-minded individuals. You know, we were all crazy people. You have to be kind of crazy to do it, to do this, to be an artist. But these were all people who were just so blessed with talent that it was just seeping out of their pores. But at the same time, they were also very human. I mean, I got homework help from a lot of these people. It was a really great environment to grow up in. And, you know, my mom was really good at shielding me from a lot of the other unsavory behind-the-scenes stuff, I guess, that goes on, things that a child should not see.
Yeah.
But that said, I think a lot of the parents were very
But you
very
always
protective.
wanted to become a performing artist?
I wasn't really, I just kind of fell into it. It wasn't even something that I consciously chose for myself to do. I mean, I loved to sing, and one of my cousins who would babysit me from when I was 3 always brought along her guitar, and she would teach me a lot of pop songs, Olivia Newton-John, a lot of Helen Reddy, and that kind of stuff. So it was something that she could tell I liked and could tell I was good at. But it wasn't like a declaration that I made one day, like I want to be a performer. It wasn't that. I just kept getting cast in shows, and it was a good time for me. My mom didn't object because you know, my academics were still okay, and she could see, I think, that I was really enjoying it and that I was good at it. So it just kind of kept on going. It's like it was created for this purpose, and because I did not choose it, it's like here. This is your path, and go on it, and that's it. Interesting.
But I do remember you wanted to become a doctor.
I did. I was
one point.
actually going to. I applied to college. I went to Ateneo. And I was a biology major, and I love the sciences as much as I guess I love the arts. And it just didn't seem like an odd fit. But I do remember some relatives going, "Why do you want to be a doctor?" And I'm like, "Why? That's what I want. Why are you judging?" You know?
And then, of course, Kim in Miss Saigon happened.
Yes.
That seems to be a lifetime ago.
It was. I mean, I was only 17 when I auditioned for Miss Saigon. And 18 when I finally left to start rehearsal. So I was very, very young. And thank goodness I had my mom with me, the ever loyal chaperone. So my mom came, and then she pretty much was there for much of my early to mid-20s, and then finally, it was time for her to go home. That's it, go home now.
Okay. Well, that was, of course, basically the catalyst that changed your life.
Yes, pretty much.
Can you recount any other experience or opportunity that has taken its place as a most memorable, or a most memorable moment in your career?
Well, there have been quite a few milestones since Miss Saigon. I mean, I'm now finding myself becoming more and more identified with Les Miserables than Miss Saigon, strangely enough, because I got to play 2 dead girls in the show who get to sing the 2 best songs, or at least for me, they were the 2 best songs. So, you know, in the age of YouTube and the internet, and just how immediate people are able to see these performances, how immediately they can access things. So a lot of younger people will see me as either Eponine or Fantine, and their parents will remember me as Kim, which is, kids still remember me for being a Disney princess, and I don't think that that'll ever really get old, because whenever those movies are released, then it's another generation of youngsters that gets to hear my voice.
Speaking about Disney, Nicole is 5, right?
Yes, she's 5.
Yeah, she's 5. That's the age, speaking from experience, where you get really into Disney.
Yes.
Does she know that her mom is a Disney legend?
She gets it.
Yeah.
She was there at the ceremony.
Okay.
For the Disney legend thing, and fell asleep right after the princesses got their awards, and that was it. I think my husband or my aunt took a picture of her falling asleep. But yeah, she gets it. She understands that mommy sang the singing voice for 2 characters. She knows that it's Mulan. She knows that it's Princess Jasmine. She knows the difference between a singing voice and a speaking voice. and she knows which ones Mommy did. It's like, who sang that one? Mommy. And then she asks if I did another one, and I'm like, no, I only did Jasmine and only did Mulan. And she's, and I guess because she's so exposed to it, she understands costuming, she understands characters, she understands that people pretend to be another person, that kind of thing, and that this is what Mommy does for a living.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, and that was
Interesting.
a very, very fast 15 minutes. Marami pa po tayong pag-uusapan kasama ang ating espesyal na bisitang si Miss Lea Salonga. Dito pa rin sa Art2Art. Magbabalik po kami pagkatapos ng ilang paalala.